Hello and welcome back by Cooking with Ollie. Today we're making apple pie. Alright, let's take a little look at the ingredients for today. So, of course, we got apples, quite a lot of them. For the size of the apple pie that we're making today, we got 8 nice little apples right here. We got some eggs, we have some of these things, we have some butter, and then we also have, oh, it's all the way over here. There we go, our mixture for the apple pie itself. Okay, so let's get started. What we're gonna do first is actually butter up this thing right here before we put anything in there. So we're gonna take a little bit of our butter. Yeah, we're gonna take the little piece of butter and come on over and take a little look. We're gonna butter up the whole bottom of this thing here. Make sure it's all nice and buttery. The reason for this is so that the apple pie will not be sticking to the thing that we got going on here, because that wouldn't be great. Now you want to make sure to do the side parts as well here. So there we go. Alright, and there we go, all nice and buttered up. I'm gonna just throw this piece of butter away, wash my hands real quick because, well, there's a lot of butter on them right now. Alright, and there we go. So now what we're going to be doing is making the dough. So we got our little mixture bag book here, and we're going to just open that straight up and put it all into our, well, you know what this is. You recognize this one from the previous episodes of this series here. We got a beautiful red bowl here again, and we're going to put all of the mixture in there. So there we go. Voila. And what we're gonna be doing now is adding in quite a lot of butter. So we need 175 grams here. Now on this package, they're quite nice here. They pointed out the grams. So each one of those lines is 50 grams of butter, which means we're gonna need from here to around here, I would say, for 175. Which, yeah, that's quite a lot. So let's see if we can mark that up. It basically goes right here. Yeah, that looks about good to me. And what we're going to be doing now is not just cutting this up and putting all of this in there in one go. We're actually going to be cutting it up in small little pieces and then be putting those pieces into the mixture. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, as I said, you don't want these pieces to be too big. This is a little bit too small. You can make them a little bit bigger than that. So maybe a piece like this is a nice size for the butter, and you get that little piece, you put it in there, and then you get another piece, and you keep on going until the whole big piece is small pieces in the thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, and there we go. Look at that. That's now all in there, and now this is going to be the fun part. We're going to be stirring it up with our hands here until it's basically not noticeable anymore that there's chunks of butter in there. So you want them all to be really well mixed. Now, of course, I did just wash my hands. Make sure you wash your hands before doing this, of course, otherwise it will be a little bit gross. But my hands are nicely washed, so I can go ahead and do this. So yeah, you want to just go in there and put some power into it, put some force into it, making sure that all the chunks of butter get fully mixed with the apple pie mixture. And then once it's ready, I will show you what it should look like. Okay, so it has almost become fully like a powder in here, which is of course what we want. This, I would say, is roughly the stage you want to get it in. And then now my hands are a little bit dirty, but that's okay. We're gonna grab, oh my goodness, grab an egg. And there we have a beautiful one. And we're gonna add it in there. So, crack it open. Put it in there. Ooh. And then what I like to do is first cover the egg with some dough. And then we're gonna once again mix it and stir it all up. Now at this stage, it will all become a bit messy. It will very much stick to your hands. As you see, my hands are completely covered in stuff right now. But that's okay, just keep on going, stirring it, making sure that every single dust of the powder is covered with some egg yolk. And then once you reach that point, you start feeling like it can actually be sculpted into a little ball. We have not reached that point yet here though, so give us a second. Alright, look at this. It's starting to become a one little entity right here. Now what I like to do at this point is making sure that I scrape by the leftovers that are left in the bowl here. So that, you know, the ball becomes as big as possible. And then you want to start making this ball complete. Of course, there's still some leftovers on my fingers. They will slowly start joining with the rest of the dough. And you can kind of just start slapping it at this point until you feel like it can actually become almost solid. Okay, there we go. This is just about what you want it to look like. As you can see, my hands are not really all that covered in the stuff anymore either. A little bit here and there, but it's okay. Once it has reached this beautiful point, you just put it back into the bowl, and then you want to put the bowl aside, either in a fridge or just wherever you have some space. So for now, we're gonna just boom, place it right there. So at this point, as you notice, my hands are still completely covered in some of the mixture of the dough. And at this point, you can either choose to wash your hands, or you can just decide to have a little taste here. Now, some of you might say, well, there's a raw egg in there. You might get salmonella poisoning or whatever. You might. I won't. I will be eating this and then washing my hands. So I will be back in a second. All right. My hands are all nice and clean now. It was very tasty. What we're going to be doing now is making the filling, so to say, of the apple pie. So what we got over here is another bowl. I know this is a completely different one. We got some of these things. Don't really know what they're called, but hey, they taste quite good. And we have our apples. So what we're going to be doing. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to first of all peel our apples and then cut them into small little pieces. Of course, the size of the pieces is up to you. I would recommend them not being too big. I will show you in a second. And then once it's all together, we're going to add in some sugar and also some of this stuff. It's called cinnamon. We're going to also be adding that in once it's all in there. But yeah, as said, we're going to peel these bad boys first. So let me show you how to do that. Right, so we got our little the little thing for the peelage, and you go like this. And you peel the apple and make sure that there's no skin left on there. There we go. It's all peeled and it's looking skinless, so to say. And of course, we don't want this little thing to be in there either. So what you want to do is cut open the apple, like so. There we go. Now we have cut open the apple perfectly in half. I like to, at this point, cut it up again. And there, and then you can just remove this little part like so. And of course you don't want the little thingy in the middle to be in there either. So I'm gonna remove all of this. There we go. And then what you're left over with is a perfectly good apple that can be cut into small little pieces and be added into the big bowl that we got here. And as I said, you don't want them to be too big. I would say a little bit bigger than this one is good. So let's try and make a little perfect sized one here. That's not perfect. Oh, wow, I mean, look at that. That is looking pretty good. So yeah, you want to be cutting up the apple into chunks like this. Of course, they don't all need to be the same size. That doesn't matter all that much. Just add them all in there. And then you want to repeat this process for all of your apples. Okay. All of the apples have been cut up into little pieces. It's looking beautiful. So now what we're going to be doing is adding in the raisins. Yeah, I know what they're called. So boom, there we go. They are now added in. And what we're going to be doing is adding in some sugar and some of the cinnamon. That's right. So On the package it said around 20 grams of sugar. Now, I do not have like a scale in my eyes, but I think if I were to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe like a little fifth one. There we go. That should be just about right. And then we're going to be doing the same with the cinnamon. Just adding a nice amount in there. With the cinnamon, you don't want to add in too much, so just a little. Oh, that almost went in, and there we go. I think that is a good amount. And what we're going to be doing now is stirring them all up. We got a little spoon here. You can either stir it up with the spoon, or you can just use this little technique of like rumbling it around. But we're going to be doing the spoon technique right now, since my bowl is a little bit filled. And I think if I were to do the rumbling around technique a little bit, if I were to do the if I were to do the rumbling around technique, I think some of my apples might just fall out a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna just be stirring it up using a spoon here. And now, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing a little taste test. So we got a beautiful little piece right here. And now I'm gonna process what I'm tasting. And I'm tasting a little more cinnamon is needed. So we're gonna be doing that. There we go. And I'm also tasting 1 more spoonful of sugar is needed. So there we go. And now we're gonna stir it up again and do the taste test again. So now this time around, you are gonna be doing the taste test. Oh, there we go. All right. And
beetje meer suiker.
all right. You said a little more sugar, so we're gonna be adding a little more sugar. Boom. And let's just be safe and do another one. There we go. All right, and then once again we gotta stir it up, and then maybe have another little taste here, of course. Woo! All right, there we go. Now we gotta know for certain if it's actually good now, of course. So we gotta. I would say good enough. Of course, I would like to taste a little bit more. But hey, we do have a pie that needs to be made. So for now, this is good. I think this was perfect. So you can use that technique as well. Just have a little nibble. And if you're like, this tastes good, then it's good. So anyway, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be grabbing our our dough from before. So here we have our beautiful dough. And what we're going to be doing is dividing this one into two separate balls. Now one ball will basically be the size of 1/3 of the big ball, and the other ball will be 2/3 of the big ball. So you gotta have quite a keen eye. Oh, so yeah, you gotta have quite a keen eye here in order to assess the amount. And I would say, is this right? Let's see. Now, of course, what it means to have 1/3 and 2/3 is that one is 2 times as big as the other. So we're gonna little looksy. I think this one is a little bit more than 2 times as big. So we're gonna be yoinking that off of it. There we go. We're gonna be wobbling it, and now this is quite this is quite close. What do you say? Okay, so I do believe they are now the sizes that we want. So we have our 1/3 ball here, then we're going to be putting it back in there. And our 2/3 ball is going to be going all the way back to the thingy-majingy that we got over here with the butter in there. And we're going to be evenly spreading it all out over the bottom here. Now, not only that, but also across the sides. So you want the apple pie dough to, go up to basically around here, and then to be all over the floor. Not the bottom. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Let's see how successful I will be at doing this, shall we? Now my technique when it comes to this part is to well, I don't have much of a technique, but but we'll find our way through. That's the way I like to do things. Alright. Look at that. This is just beautiful. So, important things here to note. First of all, most of the important thing when you're doing this part of the process is that it is all filled. So you don't want any holes in the bottom or on the sides. If you get a hole in your pie, it will fall through, it will be ruined. So that's very important at this point. And secondly, of course I haven't done that perfectly because, hey, well, that's just life, but I got pretty close to it, if you were to ask me. You want to evenly spread it out all over, so you don't want a big hill and big down. You want it to be evenly spread out, almost like this. This is almost completely even. Of course, there's little bumps and stuff like that, but hey, that makes it a little bit more fun when you're eating here. That makes it a little bit more fun when you're eating it. You never know what's next. Anyway, now that that is all done, what we're going to be doing now is adding all of this in here very carefully, because we want to make sure that, well, first of all, it doesn't spill over, and second of all, that it's once again all evenly spread out. Alright, here we go. We're gonna slowly start pouring this in here now. So just like that, gently, spoon by spoon, adding in a little more apple and a little more of the other things as well. All in there we go. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna be putting that over there. Now we got a little spoon, and I like to do it like this so that it all comes across evenly. And then once again, there's a spider on my arm. Hold on. Oh, where is it? What? All right. That happens sometimes. Anyway, so now you wanna spread it all across evenly here. There we go, and make sure it's all nice and flat. And I mean, look at this. Look at it. It looks good. All right, it looks good. And now the smart, intelligent watchers and the ones with a very good memory will remember that there's still some dough left. And that is correct. So what we're going to be doing with this little bit of dough that is left is adding in some toppings. That's what we like to do when we make apple pie in this house. So that's what we're going to be doing. So, okay, so what we are going to be doing is making 6 stripes on our apple pie. And the way we're going to be doing that is first dividing this bad boy into 3 chunks again. This time completely even. So 1, 2, and of course automatically 3. And you want to make sure they're completely the same size. But if there's a little difference in there, that's no problem. I would say this is looking pretty good. Maybe just like so. Yeah. And then you want to be splitting all of those 3 into 2 as well. But I like to just do it like this. Put all the other stuff in there. And then we have enough for one little string to be going along here. So you want to do the dough like this. And make it all clingy and you want to make it all nice and stringy like so, and then just put it along there. There we go. And if it's not completely perfectly evenly spread, hey, who cares? Okay, hey, it's an apple pie, all right? We're here for fun, okay? We're not here for perfection or anything like that. So yeah, we're gonna be doing it with the okay. We're gonna be doing it with the second string as well. So there we go, nicely in the middle, and maybe a little. Looks pretty good. Anyway, on to the next one. Grab half of the ball again, and there we go. Ooh, all right. Would you look at that? Now we got our first 3 stripes in there, and now we're gonna add the last 3 in there as well. So there we go. Yes. Oh, perfect. Look at that. On to the second to last one here. Oh, okay. There we go. And the very last one here. There we go. Alright, nice. And now you can redivide them if you have messed it up a little bit at this point. Of course, I did not mess it up because I do not make mistakes really in this kitchen. So this is looking pretty good. And now there's only one little step left. Well, two. And the first step is going to be, that is left, to put it in the oven and, just warm it up a little bit. And then, of course, the second is to eat the pie. Okay, so putting it in the oven. Now, this should be one of the simplest steps. So you just put it in the oven like that. There we go. And then you want it to be at 180 degrees. So that's roughly around there for us. For a full hour. I know, a whole hour. Yes, you gotta wait that long. But believe me, it's worth it. It's very tasty. And it's very good. So there we go. And yeah, it's now set for 1 hour. We're gonna be back here once it's all finished. Then we're gonna see how it is looking, and of course maybe have a little nibble at it as well, because hey, that's what you make it for, right? Anyway, we'll see you in a second. Okie dokie. So the oven has just gone pling ploing, so that means it's finished, and we're gonna have to take a little look at the finished product here, of course. So I got my oven mitts on because it is quite hot still. So we're gonna take it out here. There we go. And ooh, okay, look at that. That is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I would say a perfect apple pie. Now, it's still too hot for us to enjoy right now, so we're gonna leave it cool off for a little bit. But for now, the video is finished. So yeah, that is how you make a perfectly good apple pie like we just did. Hope you now know how to do that. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. So yeah, goodbye. Bye.
Bye.